Hello, this is Sealchan, and this is episode 3 of my Infinity Evolved Progressive Let's Play. Hello. Alright, that was the little short song, and just thought I'd take a quick spin around the world here from where I stood. Yeah, this is episode 3, and I just want to cover what I did this round. We had high hopes that perhaps I could start researching wood, but you'll see what has become of that. This is again Infinity Evolved mod pack created by Feed the Beast, and it is played on expert mode, where recipes are not what you might expect. So let's begin. First of all, the explorer did another bit of exploring, and for the most part we just widened the search radius. I went over the top of this hill, across this stone, and we came around first this way, but we officially discovered these Maloberries over here. Let's take a quick walk. These are always a welcome blessing in an early modded game because they are free food and they regenerate pretty rapidly. So I don't think we really have anything to worry about. In fact, here's a bud. When you place a block of this plant, it will bud upwards to 3 blocks high. So great reason to add Natura to your modded Minecraft game, especially if you're trying to play something of a early game survival experience. Alrighty, there's quite a few varieties of that berry, so there are many biomes that you can start out in, and you'll have that resource available to you. That was the big deal there. Since we're doing little radii around the base, the Explorer is really finding much less and less of note. At some point I'll just go ahead and explore the entire the entire Extreme Hills biome region, which extends roughly as we saw in the first video, because there really won't be that much to discover even over this wide range. Once you've got a lay of the land in a biome, the particular blocks and plants and whatnot don't change too much the further you search around. So next, the forester. Let's see. I don't think we replanted much because we were expecting that all we had to do was harvest this eucalyptus tree, which I did, and I got over a stack of eucalyptus wood. And I thought, great, now let's get into the basic tools that everybody else is probably clamoring for, the crafting table, etc. But this is expert mode, and apparently the eucalyptus wood, which is not vanilla, is I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead here to the researcher. The eucalyptus wood is not eligible for crafting, not even into just the 2 planks. I suspect only the vanilla wood is. To get the plank of this, you have to use the sawmill. I'm not quite sure which mod that is yet, but it's a recipe that I will eventually discover. I can't make wood planks out of this wood. So, to no avail. Same mod here. Again, Natura. Hopseed wood will probably be useless. I'm going to think the oak wood is my best bet. So I'll probably plant more oak wood trees so we don't have to wait as long. Excuse me. I planted that additional hop seed tree over there. I really like those trees, especially when you bump them up a notch. So we also discovered a spruce tree here, so that's work for the forester in the future. Now the gardener got to build something. I picked up a couple of those plants I mentioned. The berry garden and the ground garden. These are supposed to spread on their own. I didn't see anything in the wiki about light, so if these don't start spreading soon, don't want to punch that, then I may need to move these out. But I thought kind of a garden bed under here would look really nice as they spread more and more. I punched all the grass out. When you get a torch going, I'll definitely consider that as an option as well. So, slow, humble beginnings. Just a bunch of replanted trees and bushes. But that's how beginnings are. They're slow, and they give you time to think. And I've thought a lot about how I'm going to want to build this base out in this particular world. There's sheep. Hello. We do have, let's talk about that briefly, and then I will talk a little bit about research. Call it good. Here's a ground plant. We have this ravine, and I am seriously considering doing some sort of a ravine base build here. Looks like it just, it can keep going that way. I watched an old video by Grian where he kind of talks about a process. I'll probably use that as inspiration. As vast and majestic as the scenery is, once you walk it, you realize when you're building a large base or area, it's not really that much room. So I might preserve it as kind of an above ground farming and tree area. One thought I had, since this is going to connect back to the village through here, is that we might eventually dig a tunnel through there. But I think that's too big of a project. So I think what we'll probably do is just conceive of a road here that comes down and just gradually descends into this ravine, and we can just start to build in that way. So anyway, those are my thoughts. So let's wrap up about research. The final thing I do in any round of play, and this was round 3. What do I have here? Well, I told you about the eucalyptus wood as not being a way to get wood to use for basic tool crafting with wood. I also took a look at a flower called the Deviating Lily, and it's coming nighttime, but they're these kind of faint little flowers. I'll try to point one out in a future video. They're really intriguing. They're kind of nondescript. They come in all 16 colors. They grow singly. According to future versions of the code of Project Red, they are farmable, but in my experience with 1.7, unfortunately, they seem to be completely broken. If you plant a petal is what the drop is. If you break the flower, you get a petal. If you plant the petal, you get a little seedling. But if it grows, it doesn't matter what color the petal is. It's always going to produce what appears to be a white deviating lily. Now, I guess the deviating name to the lily comes from the fact that if you plant two of those lilies next to each other, they will kind of mutate or breed, or cause the plant, I think it's the deviating lily planted between the two to, oh, there it is. I thought it was off this way. Cause that plant, oh, I just punched it. Well, I did not mean to do that. I have a sleeve, and it's poking my mouse thing. But here, let's, I actually got 2 out of that. You know what? I might need to revisit this. Alright, so there is a tiny sapling here. And one of the things I noticed is that I expected the flower to be red, but I think that it's not the flower. So I'm going to have to look at this a little bit more. It may be that the world-generated flower is working as expected. I used bone meal to grow the plant up, but maybe that last growth stage is not bone mealable. So anyway, well, I guess I'm kind of glad I punched that. You saw that flower briefly before I destroyed it. And yeah, so it drops these petals. Red deviating lily seed. I'm sorry, it looks like a petal. And you can replant the flower. And I think I'll hold on to this one to replant it closer to base in the next round. And yeah, so if we can get that to work, that would be great. I just have to experiment. I went into a test world and I experimented as part of my research. I wanted to see if I could create a supplier of that particular plant. And yeah, it didn't seem to work, but I could be wrong. You see, the whole trick is that every time I broke the plant, I only got 0 or 1 petal out of it. And that may be because I hadn't let the plant mature fully. So we shall see. Let me make sure I catch that later. So anyway, I looked into the deviating lilies, and of course I already talked about the Maloberry, which I discover is a great food source. I should be able to collect and replant that bush here in my kind of haphazard garden area where I have my trees and a berry in a ground garden, and pretty much that's it. So anyway, this has been Sealchan, and this has been round 3. The progress is slow, but there's much to discover in a modded game of Minecraft, and much to consider if you want to create a mega build and do it without having to restart. So I'm taking my time, doing a lot of thinking and reflecting, and enjoying the landscape. And I'm hoping you're enjoying the process too. I hope to see you in the next episode.